Greetings fam, this is Will of Chile Inc. And today, instead of doing something regarding music, we're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about a pesto, where we're going to demonstrate how to make a pesto, which is made of basil, walnuts, garlic, olive oil, and salt, pretty much. There's a few other things that I'm going to add so that I'm going to change up the recipe a little bit. I use walnuts instead of pine nuts, and I use nutritional yeast instead of Parmesan cheese. So this is a non-dairy. Pesto is good on pasta. This is a zucchini pasta. Pesto is also good on bread, toast, sandwiches. I use it instead of mayonnaise. It's good on salads and other types of vegetables. It's good in cooking. It's a very, very good food. The main ingredient is basil, and basil is an excellent source of vitamin K and manganese. It's a very good source of copper, vitamin A, and vitamin C. And it's a good source of calcium, iron, folate, magnesium, and omega-3 fatty acids. So basil is the main thing, and it's an ancient plant. It's related to peppermint, so it's a good plant to have. Use walnuts, sea salt, nutritional yeast. I use black pepper, and I also use some Jack Miller's spices. That's the garlic right there. Garlic is very important in basil. In pesto. A very important ingredient in pesto. Let's get started. This is the basil. Those are the walnuts. This right here is the Jack Miller spice. It has red pepper, no black pepper, no salt, paprika, onion powder, garlic powder. This is the Himalayan sea salt, and this is the nutritional yeast. I use this in place of cheese, and I also use black pepper. This is the garlic. I use minced garlic that I cooked, and this is an ingredient that I haven't shown yet. This is the Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and this is the olive oil. Very important to make good basil, to have a good olive oil. This is organic. It was on sale. Lucky for me. So the chopping blade, we put that in, and then we add the walnuts. And we're going to blend that and chop that up in using our food processor. Chop that up a little bit. One as fine as you can get it, but we don't want it to start turning into a paste yet. So, like about there. And then we're going to add about a third of the basil. You chop up the basil a little bit at a time so you can get it nice and even. If you try to put all of it in there and chop all of it at one time, it's not going to come out right. You're going to have big old leaves of basil that haven't been chopped up well. So you do a little bit at a time. So here's another third, about a third, I guess. Just kind of judge it. Chop that up and add the last little bit. And of course, the basil has been rinsed several times because it has a lot of sand on it. So you have to rinse it like 3 or 4 times and then dry it up in a salad spinner. Then you scrape the sides down. This is just the basil and the walnuts and so far. Now we're going to add the Bragg's vinegar. We're going to add the garlic right here and mix that up a little bit. And then we're going to add the spices and the nutritional yeast. Mix that up a little bit. And then we're going to add some of the olive oil. This is about a quarter of the cup. This is about half of what I'm going to use, which is about a half a cup. So this is about a quarter cup right there. Blend that up real good. And then as we're blending or processing, we start adding the other quarter cup. Sometimes I go a little over because I want to hear that squishy sound, like it's going into a liquid state. That's what I want. I want to hear it. I don't so much look as I actually hear. But it depends on your technique. Then you scrape that down. You scrape all the time. You're scraping, because you don't want big particles to get on the side walls. You just keep on scraping and blending and scraping until you got it to the consistency you want it to be. Let's blend this one more time. There it is. That's that little squishy sound I like. And just go ahead and taste a little bit of it. And you add salt or whatever you need to add to get it to the flavor you want, pepper, whatever. And then I like to store it in glass containers. I don't know, it's just something about glass. It just kind of makes it, and you know, as you pour it, you scrape the sides because you want to get all of it. You don't want to waste any of that, man. Matter of fact, when I'm done, I usually take a piece of bread and scrape the rest of the sides just to eat it, so it just doesn't go to waste. And that's it. This is pesto. Yep, a raw food. Well, I got the cooked garlic in there, but other than that, it's a raw food. And you seal it up and store it in the refrigerator. It'll keep for about a week. Basil, which is the main ingredient in pesto. Yeah, there's research studies on basil have shown that it has unique health protecting effects in two basic areas: basil's flavonoids and basil's volatile oils. Now, the unique array of active constituents in the flavonoids found in basil provide protection in your body at the cellular level, so that's really, really good. In addition, the volatile oils provide protection against unwanted bacterial growth in your body. So both things are really, really good for you. So try this pesto recipe. It's really, really easy. If you have a Cuisinart or some other food processor, or even a blender, you could do it in a blender as well. If you like this video, click like. Also comment. Tell me what you think. All right. Peace.